Hello, and welcome back to The Myth Within. I'm Dr. Tom, and I'm very grateful that you decided to join me here today. Today is my children's last day of homeschooling. Like many parents out there for the last year and a half, I engaged in assisting the teachers that did a valuable job both in person and in distance learning to create a means by which my children could be educated at home for the year. And one of the first things that really struck me, because I know that we've been over the last few sessions working around this idea of behind the story of Old Sultan, a dog who had seen better years and was getting ready to expire by an owner that no longer saw use for him, really comes around this idea of out with the old, in with the new. My son's first reaction when he was going out to clean out his home cubby where he had done his educational journey since March of last year due to COVID 19 was to throw all the papers away he could. And at first, I was thinking to myself, I don't know if this is a good idea. You may need these or whatnot. But then I'm reminded of just how much clutter we bring into our lives. There is an aspect, an element that we need to be able to let go of the old, the things that we've already learned, so that we can make room for new things yet to come. And when we look at the story of Old Sultan, that really is one of the premises there. It's a dichotomized pull in essence because the new is seeking to try and make sense of its journey to come, while the old has wisdom that is there to share with the generation that is up and coming. And so when the owner begins to look at Old Sultan, he doesn't see a use for him anymore. The dog has no teeth. The thieves don't fear his presence anymore. But Old Sultan has some wisdom to share. In that wisdom, there must be an element where Old Sultan brings the new up. And so, in the idea of out with the old, in with the new, which operates in antithesis to the beginning premise of Old Sultan, what ends up happening is room is being made for new movement to occur. When my son was getting rid of all his papers, I at first thought, oh no, you got to save some of these. What if you need them next year or whatnot? But then, how can he feasibly unlearn what he learned? It's a practice of repetition. It's a practice of being present in the moment and moving on to make room for what is yet to come. In the story, Old Sultan protects the baby, even though in essence he makes a deal with the shadow to have the baby taken. In this essence, the old establishes its root in wisdom. What is there of importance that was gained over the years, over the year? What can be let go of? We don't readily access all the knowledge of everything we've ever been told throughout our lives. In fact, it's through this process of repetition that we really build the root from which memory arises and working capacity to use that skill as a means to employ it towards a benefit arises from within. And so Old Sultan, he's wise to this trick, and he has to make sure that the newness is allowed its presence while it also doesn't disregard the need for the lessons that were present before. The farmer's wife said to the farmer, "Pray let the poor faithful creature live. He has served us well a great many years, and we ought to give him a livelihood for the rest of his days." there's an element of respect here. There's an element of repetition that's present here, that he has to be given a livelihood through the rest of his days. But not everything becomes a livelihood. As I watched my sons clean out their cubbies and began to realize that the year was coming to a close, there is an element of wisdom present. There's an element of memories made. There's an element of stories that were cried through, stressed through, stories that brought joy, that brought moments of clarity and happiness, moments of confusion as I try to relearn what first graders are now being exposed to. It's not quite for me, but what ends up happening is that the newness was allowed space. We could get rid of the old. It's not that it unhappened, but in essence, we could integrate it, possibly repeat it, and move it towards its natural state. As I watched my sons clean out their cubby, it was a wonderful experience. And saying goodbye to a year that's been both stressful and joyous. I welcome your comments and any questions that you may have. And as always, I wish you namaste, my friends. And may blessings find you as you advance confidently in the direction of your dreams. Have a good day.